fear factor? What is your fear factor? What is holding you back because of that fear? And how can you move forwards? Fear is one of those things that can either propel us forwards because we're afraid of something and so we move towards something else, or we're going away from the fear, or fear can absolutely make us freeze and stop in our tracks and stop us moving forwards. So fear can be a really good thing to have when it's a certain kind of fear and we are reacting in a way that is positive to that fear. If we are afraid of running out of money, the fear of running out of money might make us search for jobs harder, might make us use our brains more, might make us more creative. So that kind of fear propels us into something more positive. And there are different types of fear. So what I suggest that when people are fearful is they understand what that fear is. Is it a fear of being judged? Is it a fear of being bullied? Is it a fear of speaking up? Is it a fear of being seen? A fear of getting it wrong? A fear of failure? Fear of success, even? What is the fear that is your biggest fear? Think about that. What is your biggest fear at this moment? And if you could name it and really see it for what it is, and then look at where it came from. Where did that fear initially come from? Because it normally comes from way, way back in your past. And when you can do something with that, when you first of all recognize it, right? So when you recognize that fear, now you can do something. It's a bit like being an addict or an alcoholic, and you recognize it. You know that that is not the way to go, and you want to do something about it because you've recognized what it is. Sometimes you are going into depression and you don't realize it until somebody else points it out. But when you realize it and you recognize it, or somebody points it out to you and go, oh my goodness, yes, then you can do something about it. So fear is the same. What is making you fearful? And is that fear stopping you in your tracks? Or is it moving you forward to where you want to get? And one of the things that I do is trauma memory resolution technique. So the memory resolution technique can take that fear, even if you're not quite sure where that fear has come from, where it started from. But what we do is we work to alleviate the emotions around that fear so that you can then move forwards in your life. This is such an important piece that so many people miss, that I have studied under the person who created this over a 20-year period. He created this, and when I heard about it, it was one of those things that truly inspired me. And when I realized that you can use it for fears, which is one of those huge things I talk about it in peak performance with fear grit, having the grit to face your fears. And when you can overcome that and move forward, oh my goodness, there's so much more joy, expansion, abundance. It's amazing. So it's how to get through that fear. That's one of the ways that you can get through it. And you can get through it really quickly with TMRT. And how to then, once you've seen it, is to realize, how am I using it? Am I using it in a really positive way, or am I using it for people to feel sorry for me? You know, is there a benefit in staying with that fear? Is there a benefit in staying where I am? So that is a really deep question to ask yourself as well. And oftentimes we don't like to ask ourselves those questions because it sounds a bit like we are holding ourselves back. And we want to hold ourselves back. So you have to be ready to overcome the fear. So that's really the thing. If you're ready to overcome that fear, then you can move forward. You can have a better life. You can reach towards your goals. You can overcome that fear. And there are little steps that you can take to overcome it. And that's how I work with my clients. It's not necessarily the whole thing, but it's little parts, little steps, micro habits, increments, a little bit at a time. And it might be a small fear that we start to work with, and then we go through to the bigger fears. Because, yes, I asked you what your biggest fear was at the moment, but are there some small fears that you would also like to conquer? There's going to be another video coming up on screen, so I will see you over there. Give this a thumbs up if you're interested in overcoming your fears, and have the most awesome day. Bye for now.